Friends, stop me if you've heard this one before. 3 powerful movements, MAHA, MAGA, and Defend the Guard, walk into a bar. The bartender's wiping down the counter and he stops and he looks up and he says, "I think you 3 have got this covered." And you know he's probably right. To save our republic, we need 3 distinct unifying efforts. MAGA, Make America Great Again, is an America-first approach that puts our nation first in all decisions. MAHA, Make America Healthy Again, heals America from the inside out, defending against Big Pharma and Big Ag, who always put profits over people. And Defend the Guard, which ensures that we never send our troops overseas to a foreign conflict without Congress declaring war first. Check out this clip from my speech at the Power of Unity rally in Newtown, Pennsylvania this past weekend. MAHA, MAGA, and Defend the Guard. These 3 movements are a true definition of America first.
Dan McKnight is a U.S. Army, Marine Corps, and National Guard veteran who is dedicated, yes, thank you for your service, dedicated his post-military life to advocating for principled foreign policy and the proper use of America's military forces. He is the founder of Bring Our Troops Home, an organization focused on ending America's endless wars and restoring constitutional war powers through state-level legislation. Most notably, the Defend the Guard movement. Dan's leadership and tireless commitment to defending American values have made him a powerful voice in the fight to return decision-making power to the people and their representatives. Without further ado, Dan McKnight.
All right, Semper Fi, Double Dog, I heard you. All right. Hey, my name is Dan McKnight, and I can't tell you how excited I am to be here in Pennsylvania. My beautiful wife, Andrea, is sitting right here in the front row. We've been here to the state twice in the last 2 weeks, and we love it here. We feel connected to the founding of our country right here. We can feel the history. We can feel the movement that happened here a couple hundred years ago, and we can't imagine living anywhere other than our home of Boise, Idaho, but if we had to pick a second choice, it might just be Pennsylvania. I was listening to the Tucker Carlson podcast the other day. Anybody know who that is? Tucker Carlson, we've heard of him before. And one of the next speakers, Jack Posobiec, was talking about his hometown, which is not far from here, Norristown. And he talked about his dad and how they were moving away from Norristown for the first time. Their family had been there for generations. It was a heartfelt story that actually I connected with. And I think everybody here that remembers where you grew up, your hometown. We long for our hometown of yesteryear. We know something's broken in our communities. We know something's not right in our country. And the way he spoke about it touched my heart. I'm glad to see he was coming here today. So Andrew and I live where we grew up, Boise, Idaho. I left for 13 years and I served my country, the United States Marine Corps, the United States Army, and the Idaho Army National Guard. It was the privilege of a lifetime to serve my country, and I bought into the global war on terror and America's retribution, hook, line, and sinker. But when I was there, I saw the waste, the fraud, the abuse of the military, and I saw the dysfunction of the American foreign policy that was taking our soldiers, our citizen soldiers from our community, and sending them into wars where we don't have a national security interest and we had no declaration from us, the people, through our representatives. And so I came home and I listened to voices for the next 12 years in my head telling me that what I thought was wrong. It didn't fit in with the neocon Republican movement. And I went underground and became very angry. Grew a long beard, got really heavy, became very unhealthy. But in 2016, there was a man that started speaking the things that were in my heart and talking about ending the forever wars. And there was a candidate on the Democratic ticket who was speaking about ending the forever wars. And it became common nomenclature in our organization to talk about never sending the military into a war unless Congress has declared it first. And I thought it's time to do something. We stood up and created an organization called Bring Our Troops Home, and it's veteran-led, mostly veterans of the global war on terror, and we advocate across the country at the state level to reclaim the war powers so that when we go to war, we do it with the informed consent of we the people. You know, today in our society, we're at a pivotal moment. We must decide if we are going to continue down this path of division, of endless wars and political elite control, or we can unite for freedom, sovereignty, and the health of our people. And I'm here to talk about that unity today, represented by three powerful movements in society: MAHA, MAGA, and the Defend the Guard movement, which I'll get to in just a moment. These aren't just slogans. They represent our vision for healing our nation and putting America first. I want to talk first about MAHA. It's a funny word. Make America healthy again. For too long, our health, our physical health, our economic health, and our communal health has been undermined by government corruption, by greed, by the corporate puppet masters that are poisoning us. Bobby started this charge. He started leading it and exposing the truth about our health. He exposed that our health is controlled by big pharmaceutical industries and interests. MAHA is about reclaiming that health, reclaiming that freedom through food freedom, through healthcare reform, and through returning personal responsibility to us and letting us choose for ourselves. A strong nation begins with strong and healthy people, and the MAHA lays the foundation for that strength. Make America Great Again, MAGA, part 2 of the triad. This movement is about securing America's future and putting our nation first. It isn't about nostalgia and looking back at America of yesteryear. It's about protecting our borders, revitalizing our industries, and defending our sovereignty from globalist elites who prioritize foreign interests over the American workers, over the American citizens, over the American families. And it's about making sure that America is strong and prosperous and secure for future generations. MAGA is about ensuring that we, the American people, regain all of the control. Not part of it, not the part they want us to have, but that we regain control of our own destiny and that we are not beholden to the international elites who don't care about you, about me, or about our nation's interests. They care about profits over people. And it's about charting a course forward that puts our people first in every single decision. But for this MAHA MAGA vision, for it to succeed, we must confront one of the biggest evils in our society, one of the greatest threats to our nation's health and sovereignty: endless and undeclared wars abroad that have no bearing on our own security. And that's where the Defend the Guard legislation comes in. See, Defend the Guard legislation came from a place of frustration and anger. I went to Washington, D.C. in 2019. I took 100 of my closest friends, legislators from around the country, and veterans that I'd served with. And we went and visited every member of Congress that represented us. And we sat across from a particular congresswoman from Wyoming and asked her what conditions on the ground must be met for America to come home from Afghanistan. And the butcher of Bethesda, Liz Cheney, looked us dead in the eye, and she said, "As long as I'm here, we will never leave Afghanistan." Marines in the room, what do Marines do when we have an obstruction in the way? Say it again. Locate, close, and destroy the enemy. We went to Wyoming, and we went to every county in Wyoming and went to the Republican Party and had them provide censures for Liz Cheney. We stripped her of institutional support, money, and votes. We helped her front Harry Hageman, and we defeated Liz Cheney. And then we realized that the fight isn't in Washington, D.C. I can't do that in every country, in every congressional district, but what I can do is talk to my state legislator who I see at the grocery store on Thursday night. I can talk to my state senator who happens to go to the same church as me. So how do we fight an overbearing and corrupt federal government? We do it in our communities. We lift where we stand, where we have the most leverage. So Defend the Guard is legislation that's based in the states, and it's very simple. It's 117 words in the entire bill. It says that the National Guard of Pennsylvania, the National Guard of Tennessee, the National Guard of Idaho will not go and fight in foreign wars unless Congress has had the stones to put their name on the line and declare war. Our citizen soldiers should be at home. Our National Guard's mission is to defend their homes and their communities and not to fight undeclared wars around the world. Currently, you're going to get sick by this. Our National Guard is deployed to 66 nations around the world. 17 of them are combat zones with active military engagements. 17. Who knew we were fighting wars in 17 nations? Anybody? Very few people. How many of those wars have been declared by Congress? The answer is 0. I'll help you out. When was the last time Congress declared war? Anybody?
World War II.
World War II, but who were the enemies? Let's name them. Hungary, Bulgaria, and Romania in 1942. What was that, 83, 82 years since Congress has done their damn job? These brave men and women of the National Guard, they sign up to serve our nation. They sign up to serve their state and to serve their neighbors, not to fight unconstitutional conflicts. Defend the Guard is gaining steam with legislation introduced into over 30 states. And we've had key victories in the Arizona Senate where it passed twice before it was killed in the House. We passed the Idaho State Senate last year. We passed the largest legislative body in the Western world, the New Hampshire House of Representatives this year. Next year, we're going to pass this bill. It's going to pass and it's going to start the dominoes to fall, to stop the war machine from taking our citizen soldiers, our teachers, our police officers, our tradesmen, our mechanics, and sending them to Djibouti, Africa, in the Congo, in Iraq, in Afghanistan, in Yemen, in Syria. They should be home when Hurricane Helene is devastating Tennessee. The Tennessee National Guard should have been there. Let's talk about the biggest victory of the year. We got Defend the Guard on the ballot in the state of Texas in the primary this year. Who else was on the ballot in Texas in the primary this year? Donald Trump. How do you do in Texas? 77% of the vote. That's pretty damn good. 1.80 million votes for Donald Trump. Defend the Guard got 1.869 million. We outperformed even Donald Trump in Texas with 83% of the vote. This movement has legs. We've gotten 5 state GOP parties to adopt it officially to their platform. We are taking this fight to the states where we actually have a chance to stop the military-industrial complex. One final note on Texas. 500,000-ish people voted against Defend the Guard. Coincidentally, the neocon movement and their prime spokesman, Nikki Haley, received approximately 500,000 votes. Causation or correlation? I'll let you decide. Together, MAHA and MAGA and Defend the Guard are the trinity of principles that can restore America's health, America's sovereignty, and America's honor. MAHA strengthens our nation from within. MAGA strengthens it from without by looking inwards at first. And Defend the Guard stops the unconstitutional use of the National Guard, giving power back to the people and to their states. The elites, they want us divided. They want us fighting each other while they profit from endless wars and epidemic health crisis. But we're here today because we reject their lies. We are done playing their game. We are reclaiming our own authority, our own sovereignty over our health, over our country, and over our futures. America isn't just a slogan. It's a call to action. America first, MAHA, MAGA, and Defend the Guard. They are the pillars that can heal our nation and restore the power of the people. And folks, if it wasn't for people like Angela McArdle, the chairman of the Libertarian National Party, for her efforts in this, and if it wasn't for people like Michael Heiss, who's back here in the corner, and it wasn't for people like Pat McGee and Delig from West Virginia, this action wouldn't be happening. And we're gaining support from people like Tulsi Gabbard, who has officially endorsed the bill, RFK Jr., who has endorsed the bill, the big Ramaswamy, who has endorsed the bill, and hundreds of thousands of veterans around the country. Our voices collectively are saying enough is enough. It's time to bring our troops home. It's time to take back control of our country. And so I'm asking you today, at some point today, go to defendtheguard.us and enlist in our movement. Sign our petition. And if you have a legislator in your state who you think would be a good sponsor or a co-sponsor or a champion of this bill, click on your state when you get to that website and state their name and tell us that they've got somebody in their state who's willing to do the work. Folks, I'm so glad to be here. You are patriots from across the political spectrum. Thank you so much, and let's make America healthy again.